The dragon pens of Highkeep Station stretched across 3 kilometers of reinforced titanium and force-shielded enclosures. Humanity had reached the stars 5 centuries ago, only to discover they weren't alone. The Drakari, what humans called dragons, had ruled the Galactic Council for millennia before mankind ever split the atom. They were massive, ancient, and terrifyingly intelligent creatures who viewed most species as little more than curious insects. Terran Vale swept dragon waste from Pen 7 with the same methodical care he applied to everything. At 17 standard years, he'd worked the pens since he was tall enough to hold a plasma shovel. The other handlers mocked him for it, for treating the beasts with what they called unnecessary reverence. They used shock prods and neural disruptors to keep the younger Drakari in line. Taran used patience and respect. "You'll get yourself killed, boy," Handler Grex had warned him 1,000 times. They're animals, dangerous ones, but Taran had never seen them that way. When he looked into their ancient golden eyes, he saw intelligence that made him feel small. He saw sadness, too. The weight of beings designed to soar between stars now caged for diplomatic protocol. The morning Elder Vorthal arrived. The entire station went into lockdown protocol. The ancient Drakari was over 4,000 years old, a member of the High Council itself. His crystalline scales shimmered with colors that didn't exist in normal spacetime. He was massive, nearly 60 meters from snout to tail, and his presence alone made the air taste like ozone and starlight. Station Commander Thrace nearly prostrated herself before him. "Elder Vorthal, we are honored beyond measure. Your chambers have been prepared according to—" "I did not come for chambers." Vorthal's voice resonated through everyone's neural implants, bypassing sound entirely. "I came because I felt something I have not felt in 3,000 years. The dragon's massive head swiveled, golden eyes scanning the crowd of terrified humans. Diplomats, scientists, military personnel, all of them frozen in fear. Then those ancient eyes found Taran. The boy stood in his work coveralls, plasma shovel still in hand, a smear of bio-waste across his cheek. He didn't run, didn't even flinch. He simply met Elder Vorthal's gaze and bowed his head in respect. Not submission, but acknowledgement. The same way he greeted every dragon in his care. Vorthal's enormous form moved with impossible grace, crossing the landing platform in 3 fluid strides. Handlers scattered. Security raised weapons uselessly. The elder dragon stopped mere meters from Taran, lowering his massive head until they were eye to eye. "You do not fear me, small one." "No, Elder," Taran said quietly. "I've never feared any of your kind. You're too magnificent for fear." A sound like grinding glaciers rumbled through Vorthal's chest. Laughter. "The others prod us with lightning, treat us as beasts of burden. Yet you—" The dragon inhaled deeply, tasting the air around the boy. "You carry the old scent. The echo of the pact." Taran blinked in confusion. "I don't understand, Elder." "Of course you don't." Vorthal's eyes gleamed with something ancient and knowing. "Your species has forgotten. But we remember. We always remember." The dragon's head lowered further until his scaled chin touched the ground before Taran's feet. Around them, the entire station gasped. In 10,000 years of Drakari-human relations, no dragon had ever bowed to a human. Ever. "What are you doing?" Commander Thrace's voice cracked with panic and confusion. Vorthal ignored her. 4 millennia ago, when your kind still crawled from your birth world, there was another human civilization. The predecessors. They reached the stars before you, boy. They reached further than you can imagine. And they made a pact with our kind, not of master and servant, but of true equals. Warriors and wanderers bound by mutual respect. Taran's hands trembled. What happened to them? They transcended. Left this dimension for something beyond. But they promised us that one day their children would return, that the spark of the pact would reignite. Vorthal's massive eyes studied Taran with intensity that could strip paint. "I have waited 3,000 years to feel that spark again. And I feel it in you, stable boy. Not in your commanders. Not in your diplomats. In you." "That's impossible," Thrace protested. "He's nobody. Just a stable boy." Vorthal's voice carried amusement and iron in equal measure. "The predecessors believed that how a species treats those in their care reveals their true nature. This boy treats my kin with the respect your politicians only pretend. He sees us as we are. That is not nothing, Commander. That is everything, Taryn's mind reeled. I'm not special. You just treated us with dignity when no one was watching. You just recognized our sentience when others saw only tools. Vorthal straightened, his massive form towering once more. The pact was never about power or bloodlines, young one. It was about perspective. About seeing worth in all beings regardless of their form or station. The ancient dragon turned his massive head toward the pens, where dozens of younger Drakari watched with wide, hopeful eyes. My kin speak of you in their own tongue. The gentle one. The one who listens. They say you sing to them sometimes when you think no one can hear. Taryn's face flushed. Old Earth songs. I didn't think they'd... We hear everything. Vorthal's voice softened. And we have been waiting. Waiting for humanity to remember what it means to be worthy of the stars. The elder dragon's gaze swept across the assembled humans. I came here to deliver a message to your High Council, but I think I will deliver a different message instead. His ancient eyes returned to Taryn. The Drakari remember the pact, even if humanity has forgotten, and we choose to honor it once more, not with your leaders, but with those among you who embody its spirit. Vorthal's massive head lowered again, this time accompanied by the sound of movement from the pens. Every dragon on Highkeep Station, 43 Drakari ranging from hatchlings to ancients, lowered their heads in unison. An honor given to no human in recorded history. Rise, Taryn Vale, Elder Vorthal intoned. First of the new pact. We name you Dragonheart as your predecessors were named. Not as our master, not as our servant, but as our kin. Taryn stood there, a 17-year-old boy covered in dragon waste, plasma shovel still clutched in his trembling hands. Around him, the most powerful beings in the known galaxy bowed their heads in respect. He'd been just a stable boy that morning. By nightfall, he would be the bridge between two civilizations, and in the years to come, when historians asked Elder Vorthal why the Drakari had chosen a lowly stable hand to reforge an ancient alliance, the dragon would simply smile with his terrible, knowing eyes. Because he saw us, Vorthal would say. When everyone else looked away, he saw us. And that is what humanity was always meant to be, a species that sees worth in all things. Even dragons, even stable boys, especially them. The pact was reborn that day, not in halls of power but in dragon pens, not through treaties or negotiations, but through simple, consistent kindness. Sometimes the universe doesn't need conquering heroes. Sometimes it just needs someone who knows how to treat others with dignity, even when no one's watching, especially when no one's watching.